Hey there, welcome to Lesson 1 of the Writing Project. Before we get going, I want to make sure that you have a copy of the companion guide for the lecture and that you've created a writing project blog at edublogs.com. At your blog, I want you to start a new blog entry and title it Lecture Response 1. In the body of the post, prepare a numbered list of 7 items, then proceed with this presentation. So what is the difference between literacy and knowledge? What is the relationship between theory and practice? By the end of this presentation, you should be able to make sense of these questions, if not answers. So as you become more and more literate, you gradually acquire access to the knowledge needed to solve problems and make life better for yourself and others. But being literate in itself is merely the power to understand and communicate the complex ideas of society. Solving problems requires specialized knowledge, and if you want that, you've got to be well informed. Information sharing is the exchange of meaningful data among members of society. Every day, new information sharing technologies are born that make keeping ourselves informed and collaborating together more efficient processes than ever before. Furthermore, because the use of information sharing technologies, like the one we are currently using, makes communication strategies so much more successful, learning how to interact with and through them enhances our development as individuals and societies, but only if the information is valid. Right here I have a video of these two high school students who created a how-to guide for other students who are writing research projects. They talk about the importance of validity and how to determine whether the source that you're using is valid. So let's take a look at this. We're not going to watch the whole thing.
Accurate and precise data are the key elements to a good research work.
The validity and accuracy of your data requires authentic and reliable sources.
There are several ways of checking whether our data are valid and accurate.
And because a researcher always values his or her data's accuracy, these tips will be very helpful. Check this out.
Books and journals are usually safe sources of data because they have information gatekeepers. These are the editors and the expert consultants who examine a manuscript before it is published in a journal or book.
Sometimes, though, information in books may be irrelevant to the context of your research. Western cultural nuances are not always applicable to Asian cultural practices, so a book published in the States may not always be relevant to a research on an ancient Philippine tribal practice. Also, take note of the time when the book was published. It may be obsolete, or the information given may have been updated by more recently published books.
But most of the time, because of disease, and sometimes just plain laziness, we just go to the World Wide Web. Here are the 5 W's of cyberspace. Who is the source of the information? Has somebody taken responsibility for the content of the website? Is information about the author or organization clearly stated? Can you confirm that the company or author is a credible, authoritative source of information?
What are you getting? Is the information biased in any way? Does the site offer links to alternative viewpoints? Does the information seem complete and consistent?
When was the site created? Is it important that the information you're looking for be absolutely current? Is a reference date provided to show when the material was put online or when it was last updated? Do the links work?
Where is the site located? Free web hosting is usually unreliable because this means that an individual or an independent group is working on it. It is best to use government websites or academic websites because we can be sure that the web developers consult experts before publishing their data.
Why are you here? Check yourself. Can you get the information you need faster offline? Does the information you're getting actually suit your needs? Can you verify your information? Don't worry, Steph. I know it all sounds complicated, but it's actually quite simple once you get your mind to it.
Yeah, Sam is right. Think of it as if you're a carpenter making a special house for your family.
Okay, so we'll move on from there to the next slide. Okay, now the rest of the lecture must be accompanied by the companion guide. I strongly recommend that you pause this presentation while taking down each of your responses to the companion guide's prompts. So, who ensures at the ground level that information society spreads is accurate? And who can we trust to set the standard on how such information gets interpreted? Informed by data reliable enough to qualify as evidence by expert standards, theorists make educated guesses. Well-known theorists influence the beliefs held by the people charged with improving the quality of life for the next generation of citizens. That's you. Today, the dominant belief is that the validity of one's knowledge should be based on how fresh and up-to-date it is. The idea is that information that just sits there will eventually go bad. If you're familiar with the stages of the water cycle, you can think of theory as being like condensation, research as being like percolation, and practice as being like transpiration. Even if we go further, scholarly publication is like evaporation, mainstream media is like precipitation. And we could even go further and say that research itself is collection. You don't need to memorize this analogy. Just know that knowledge creation is social, incremental, and cyclical, which means it's based on interaction, it happens little by little, and it comes full circle. Whether or not you hope one day to become an expert in your chosen field, just being an informed citizen will require you to be able to trace important ideas, like the ones that show up again and again in the media, from one source to another, as well as understand the relationship between theory and practice. The key to both abilities is focused internet research. The focus of the extensive internet research that you will do for this project will be to follow the thread that weaves research-supported theories of social problems together with mainstream depictions of social issues. The end result of this project will be an article, essay, or report in which you share your new understanding of your topic. This piece of writing can be approached in one of the following ways. You can inform an audience of your peers about the varying ways publicized evidence could be interpreted, or you could persuade an audience of your peers that one interpretation of the evidence is better than the others, or you can captivate an audience of your peers with a short stage play or screenplay in which two or more well-informed characters engage in a heated yet respectful disagreement about social issues. That concludes Lecture 1 of the Writing Project. Thanks for stopping by.